Imagine you're going to a very important event with your partner and you want to wear a blue shirt, but your partner wants you to wear a black shirt instead. How would you negotiate this situation? Many people will think that a win-win scenario is always the best in a negotiation. Do you think so? Well, then could you tell me what would be the win-win scenario in this example? Are you gonna wear the blue shirt half of the event and put on the black one on the other half? That would be ridiculous, right? And that is exactly how Chris Voss thinks. He does not believe in win-wins. Chris is the author of a New York Times best-selling book called Never Split the Difference. Negotiate as if your life depends on it. He has worked for more than 20 years as a hostage negotiator at the FBI, dealing with kidnappers, bank robbers, and extreme terrorists. And he found out that the knowledge he has learned as a hostage negotiator is also applicable to a wide range of business and personal life situations. Since the fundamentals of human negotiation, such as sex, gender, and ethnicity, are essentially the same in any situation, regardless of age, gender, and ethnicity. Negotiating with a terrorist and negotiating with a businessman is based on the same principles. We are always negotiating. For example, when you want to send your kids to bed early or when you want to convince a friend to go to a different restaurant, all of our life is in negotiation. And Chris says that negotiation is not about your way or my way. Negotiation is about finding a third way that makes both of us happy. For example, let's say two of your kids are fighting over a chocolate and they cannot divide it. It doesn't matter how you divide the chocolate, they are both unhappy and think that the other side got more. The third way solution in this situation is to ask one kid to divide the chocolate equally and the other kid to pick first. Amazing, right? Well, in this video, I will share with you the 5 lessons I learned from the book that will help you become a better negotiator. Lesson 1. Understand first. Under every negotiation lies a fundamental truth, which is that people want to be understood and accepted. And what's the most effective thing we can do to get there? Listening. By listening genuinely, you demonstrate empathy and the sincere desire to understand what the other side is experiencing. Does it sound easy to you? Well, you cannot imagine how many people fail to listen correctly. And when the other side is talking, instead of listening, they are thinking about what they will say later. And after that, when the other side stops, they give their pitch, regardless of what the person just said. And the other side starts saying to himself, he didn't even listen a word of what I said. Have you experienced this? I'm sure you have. Sometimes you talk to someone and you feel like you're talking about different topics. People even shout out in negotiations so often because they feel that they have not been heard. And there are 3 things everyone wants in a negotiation. First, to be understood. Second, to be respected. And third, only then get what they want from the negotiation. So, if you failed listening, don't expect success from the negotiation. Lesson 2. Negotiation is a discovery, not Mortal Kombat. People who view negotiation as a battle of arguments become overwhelmed by the voices in their heads. The truth is, negotiation is not a battle, it's an act of discovery. And what does it mean? That your objective is to uncover what the other side wants. What is it? Is it money, time, respect, recognition, etc.? You must get it out. In order to do that, the author recommends several tactics. The first one is simply smiling. When you smile at someone, it's like reaching out to their brain and switching on the positivity light. Guess what? We are 31% smarter when we are in a positive state of mind, which also means that if we are in a negative state of mind, it makes us 31% dumber. The second tactic is mirroring. Mirroring is simply repeating the last 3 or most critical words of what your opponent has just said. For example, your opponent says, I have a very high expectation and want more money. You can say, want more money? This may feel strange at first. but if you put it to practice, it will work like magic. Mirroring makes the other person vomit information. It's much more powerful than saying, "What do you mean by that?" When you say, "What do you mean by that?" you give your opponent a break to think and correct himself. On the other side, mirroring makes conversation go smoothly and will take your opponent reveal more information to you. So, after you have mirrored, stay silent for at least 4 seconds and let the mirroring do its magic. Lesson 3. Tactical empathy. Tactical empathy is understanding the feelings and mindset of the other person and hearing what is behind those feelings. Especially, focus on identifying the emotional obstacles that are standing in the way of agreement. Once you have identified the emotion, label it. Labeling simply means you summarize what your opponent just told you and give it back to him. Labels always start with phrases like "it seems like" or "it sounds like." For example, you see that your opponent talks very passionately about his parents. In order to label it, you simply say, "It seems like you care a lot about your parents." Then stay silent and let the label do its magic. Labeling is effective for 2 reasons. First, it helps you confirm that you have identified the right emotion. And second, it signals to your opponent that you truly understand him, which creates a stronger bond and makes your opponent like you. If a person likes you, it's 6 times more likely that you will have a deal. Empathy brings 2 brains together. The moment you feel empathy and see that there's something that makes me collaborate with you, then your brain power and my brain power get together to solve the problem. Another tactical empathy method is called diffusing negativity with labels. This is especially effective if you know that your opponent does not like you. Before you go to meet him, sit down and think about all the negative things that your opponent might say against you during the meeting or negotiation. Then, after you have identified all the negative feelings, label them. For example, let's say your client is very unhappy because your company missed the deadline and didn't deliver what was promised. Based on this, you know that your client thinks that you are unreliable and unable to keep promises. So, as soon as you start the meeting, you can diffuse the negative thoughts by saying, "It might seem like we're screwing you and we're not capable of keeping our promises and delivering what you want. And because of this, you might even consider not doing business with us anymore. And you're absolutely right to think in this way." The moment you say this, your opponent will think, "Wow, he thinks like I do. I kind of like him." If you did not diffuse the negative, your opponent will spend hours explaining how bad he feels. However, now that you have diffused all the negatives, your opponent will be more focused on the solution rather than complaining. So, help your opponent to get rid of the negative feelings. Then you will have much better results. Lesson 4. Start with no. Does pushing hard for a yes get you any closer to a victory? Not at all. Contrary to popular belief, no is the start of the negotiation, not the end of it. When you say yes to something, you feel committed or trapped. For example, if I come to you and say, "Can we talk for 5 minutes?" and you immediately say yes, automatically your brain will start saying how long 5 minutes is actually gonna be. Am I gonna be stuck with him for 1 hour and go home late and he's gonna send me his stupid idea again? Those distractions in your mind stop you from focusing in the negotiation. You just want to get out of there as soon as possible. On the other side, if I come to you and say, "Is it a bad time to talk for 5 minutes?" you will probably say, "No, it's not, but let me finish this and that and meet you in 15 minutes at my desk, okay?" Since you started with no, you feel safe because you didn't commit to anything. Plus, saying no gives control to you because it was you who said, "Let's meet in 15 minutes." And if you feel in control, it'll help you think faster and focus without distractions. Otherwise, when you said no, You answer 2 to 3 upcoming questions by yourself. I didn't have to ask you where to meet or when to meet because you gave me everything I wanted without even working for it. Lesson 5. Harness the power of "that's right." "That's right" is one of the most powerful phrases in negotiation. And to get that answer, you must simply take your opponent's words and repeat them back to him. You might say, "What? Is it that simple?" Sounds like a stupid thing to do, but actually, it puts the other side's empathy on steroids. If you get the "that's right," then you can be sure that the deal is almost done. "That's right" is what we say when we feel completely heard and believe that the other side really understands us. We also say "that's right" at aha moments. Please be careful if you get "you are right" in those moments. It means you failed completely. The difference between these two phrases is tiny, but the implication is huge. When somebody says "you're right," they're most likely trying to get rid of you or end the conversation. Dealing with people is one of the hardest jobs out there, and you can be perfect at your job. But if you have poor people skills, it's highly likely that you will have a tough time at work. And it can also apply to your personal life. If you want to improve your people skills, then check out the video you see on your screen. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Remember, with reading and education, life is always so much better.